day everyone, we are Group 6 and I am Ganeshwari, the group leader. With me are my members Lisa Lingeshwari, Farah, Hazwan, Amirul Amin, Izami, Farhatul and Fatiha. Today we are here to talk about a serious issue that affects countless lives, drug abuse. We are excited to share our insights with you. So let's get started. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, drug abuse is a significant public health and social issue that affects everyone, regardless of age, background, or social standing. In Malaysia, our geographic location makes us particularly vulnerable as a key transit point for drug trafficking, which only makes the problem worse. The impact of drug abuse goes far beyond the individual, causing devastating ripple effects. Families are torn apart, crime rates rise, our healthcare system are strained, and it poses a direct threat to national security and social stability. This is not a moral failing, it's a chronic disease that requires a compassionate, comprehensive response. The solution is not about punishment alone, it's about prevention, education, and ensuring accessible treatment and rehabilitation for those who need it. To build a safer, healthier Malaysia, we must work together as a community. We need to raise awareness, support those struggling with addiction, and create a society that offers hope. Part 2. Recovery. Our collective action is the key to protecting our future generations. Thank you. This report focuses on the multifaceted issue of drug abuse in Malaysia. We have three main objectives. First, to explore the current trend of drug abuse. These include analyzing recent data from agencies like the National Anti-Drugs Agency (AADK) to understand the prevalence and type of substances being abused, as well as the demographic of those affected, particularly the alarming rise in cases among young people and workers. Second, we will examine the profound impact of drug abuse. The effects are far-reaching, from the devastating physical and mental health consequences for individuals to the breakdown of families, the rise in the crime, and the burden placed on our healthcare and social system. It's a problem that erodes the very fabric of our communities. Finally, we will evaluate the effectiveness of our current prevention and treatment measures. We will look at the strengths and weaknesses of exciting programs from school-based education to rehabilitation centers and identify areas for improvement. This analysis will help us determine if our current strategies are truly working or if we need to adapt our approach to better combat these persistent threats. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Amirul Amin bin Hawilin. Today, I would like to explain the definition of drug abuse. Drug abuse is the harmful and inappropriate use of psychoactive drugs, whether prescribed or obtained illegally. It negatively affects a person's physical health, mental state, and social well-being. At its core, drug abuse involves addiction, where a person continues to seek and use drugs despite knowing the harmful consequences. It also includes dependence, withdrawal symptoms, tolerance, and craving, which make recovery very challenging. In short, drug abuse is not just about using drugs, but about the cycle of addiction that damages both individuals and society. I will explain the main cause of drug abuse. There are 5 important factors that contribute to this issue. Their family problems, mental issues, socio-economic challenge, and drug trafficking. First, peer pressure. Peer pressure is one of the strongest influence, especially among teenagers and young adults. Many experiment with drugs not because they want to, but because they want to be accepted by their friend or avoid rejection. What begins as experimentation at parties or social gatherings can quickly turn into a habit once group influence takes over. Second, family problems. Family, the family plays an important role in shaping behavior. When there is conflict, neglect, or divorce, young people often feel abandoned and seek comfort outside the home. Without proper parental guidance, they may be influenced by peers who introduce them to drugs. In some cases, if drug use already exists in the household, children may grow up thinking it is normal, normal and repeat the cycle. Third, mental health issues like depression, anxiety, and trauma can silently push someone towards drugs. For some, drugs become a temporary escape from sadness or stress. For example, a person with depression may use stimulants to feel energy, while someone with anxiety may turn to sedative to calm their mind. Sadly, this relief is short-lived and quickly turns into dependence. In Malaysia, the stigma around mental health makes the problem worse, as many people are too afraid to seek professional help. Fourth, socio-economic problems. Poverty and unstable income make people more vulnerable to drug abuse. Without stable jobs or proper education, individuals may lose hope for the future. In poor neighborhoods, drug markets are often nearby, making access very easy. The pressure from poverty combined with weak family or community support increase the risk of drug use. This problem can pass down through generations if not properly addressed. Finally, drug trafficking. Malaysia is located near major drug trafficking routes, which make drugs like heroin and methamphetamine easily available. Dealers are often close by, sometimes just a street away, making it hard for addicts to quit and easy for others to start. Without strict enforcement, the constant availability of drugs keeps the cycle of abuse alive. In conclusion, the causes of drug abuse are interconnected. Peer pressure, family breakdown, mental health struggles, socio-economic difficulties, and drug trafficking all contributes to the problem. By understanding these five causes, we can see that drug abuse is not only a personal issue, but a social challenge that requires awareness, support, and strong preventive measures.
Good day, everyone. My name is Nuru Farihana. Now, let's look at the real world consequence of drug abuse. The damage it causes is profound and stretch across every part of our society. First, let's talk about the public health burden. Drug abuse overwhelms our healthcare system. It leads to chronic diseases, and through the sharing of needle, it fuels the spread of infection diseases like HIV and hepatitis C. Beyond the physical harms, it's directly linked to severe mental health issues, including psychosis, depression, and long-term cognitive decline, which can even result in a measurable loss of IQ. Treating all of this comes at a tremendous cost, approximately RM 1.2 billion ringgit every year. This leads us directly to the economic consequence. The financial strain isn't just on our healthcare. Our prison system is also heavily burdened with a staggering 60% of inmates being incarcerated for drug-related offense. Furthermore, businesses lost an estimate RM 500 million ringgit annually due to lost productivity. This comes from employees struggling with addiction through unemployment, absenteeism, and inability to perform their jobs effectively. The third major impact is on crime and social instability. Addiction drives people to commit property crimes to fund their habit. In fact, about 40% of urban theft is drug related. This activity fuels organized criminal syndicates and increased gang violence. It can also lead to corruption within law enforcement, destabilizing the very foundation of our community safety. Perhaps one of the most heartbreaking impact is family breakdown. Drug abuse is a leading cause of divorce, domestic violence, and child neglect. It creates a devastating intergenerational cycle where children of users are 5 times more likely to become addicts themselves, perpetuating the problem for generations to come. And finally, this issue is a direct threat to our national security. Malaysia's geographic position make it a key transit point for regional drug trafficking. The enormous profit from this illegal trade can potentially fund militant groups, threatening not just our national security but stability across the entire region. Now, to understand the scale of this problem, let's look at the statistical trends from 2020 to 2024. While the total number of arrests has fluctuated, the nature of the drug trade is evolving rapidly, becoming more complex and digitally sophisticated. In 2020, we saw over 32,000 arrests. The mental health crisis during COVID-19 lockdown unfortunately increased drug dependency. 2021 saw a rise to almost 36,000 arrests, with a tragic 22% increase in opiate-related death. By 2022, while arrests dipped slightly, a new trend emerged where online drug sales via the dark web increased by a shocking 40%, making drugs more accessible than ever. In 2023, we face a new, more dangerous threat, the first ever reported fentanyl-related death in Malaysia. Fentanyl is an extremely potent and deadly synthetic opiate. And looking ahead to 2024, the trend is moving to social media, with drug deals now reportedly happening on platforms like X, TikTok, Facebook, directly targeting our youth. This statistic paint a clear picture. This isn't a static problem, it's a challenging battle that requires our constant attention and adaptations.
Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Today I'll be presenting the reading summary and philosophical analysis of our group project on drug abuse. These parts may help us connect real life stories with deep ethical questions and values, making this issue is not just factual but actually moral. Let's begin with the real cases. Case number 1, which is about a famous rapper and 2 Malaysians which are charged of drug trafficking over 86 kilograms of cannabis in Laos. This shocked the public because Laos laws are very strict and harsh on drug trafficking. This case also shows that influence or fame doesn't protect you from serious consequences. Case number 2, which is in Penang, 5 young men in their 20s were charged with trafficking ecstasy and meth. This is a very, very clear example of peer pressure and how the temptation of quick money can destroy our teenagers' futures. They were denied bail, and for your information, in Malaysia, drug trafficking is a very serious and capital offense. Case number 3, which is about a Indian drug kingpin which is hiding in KL hotel, was arrested. He was hiding in KL using a fake identity. He was running a international drug network remotely. This proves that Malaysia is not just a victim, but we are also a part of the global war on drugs, both in law enforcement and prevention. Now let us explore what philosophy tells us about drug abuse. We use 2 major ethical theories: utilitarianism and deontology. First, from the utilitarian perspective, this theory says an action is right if it creates the most happiness for the most people. So when we look at drug trafficking, the outcome is just massive harm. Addiction, broken families, increased crime, mental illness, and public health burdens. All these create suffering, not just for the drug user, but for everyone around them. So a utilitarian would say drug trafficking is unethical because the pain far outweighs more than any of the personal benefit. Next, from the deontological perspective, this theory says it's not about the outcome, it's about whether the action itself is morally right or wrong. And here, trafficking drug breaks moral duties like respecting other people's life, following the law, and also acting responsibly in society. So even if someone says, I needed the money or I was pressured to drug trafficking, the act of drug trafficking is still wrong. It is morally unacceptable, no matter what the result or the reason is. And lastly, we talk about the human factor. These three cases involve three different groups of people: a famous rapper, a group of confused youth, and a career criminal. Their reasons may vary, maybe fame, maybe peer pressure, maybe greed. But all of the outcomes were the same, which is suffering, which is punishment, and destruction. So in the end, both philosophies agree drug abuse and drug trafficking are unethical. It causes harm, it breaks trust, and it destroys the very values that hold our society together. So, what do we take away from this? First of all, drug abuse is not just a legal issue. It's a moral and a societal crisis. By using philosophy, we learn to judge actions not just by the law but by ethics. And if we want real change, we need more than punishment. We need prevention, we need compassion, and of course, we need shared responsibility. Thank you.
Hi, good evening everyone. My name is Lisa Lingeshwari and today I'm going to give a presentation according to the Rukun Negara analysis. Now, let us look at these issues from the perspective of the Rukun Negara. The first principle is kesopanan dan kesusilaan emphasize the need for strong moral character, personal discipline, and respect towards others. Other drug abuse directly violates this principle. It weakens self-control, encourages irresponsibility behavior, and often leads to violence or disrespectful action. In the long run, it destroys relationships and distributes the social harmony that this principle seeks to uphold. And let's move on to the next second principle, kesetiaan kepada raja dan negara, or loyalty to the king and the country. This principle is about devotion to the nations, its security, integrity, and prosperity. Drug abuse is a betrayal of this loyalty. Its fuel crime undermines the healthcare system and endangers national security. In fact, it slowly destroys the country from within by harming its people and society. And finally, the conflicts. Here is the drug abuse is not just a crime. It is also a betrayal of the fundamental values that hold Malaysians together as one society as started in the Rukun Negara. Therefore, when we view drug abuse through the lens of the Rukun Negara, it is clear that the issue is more than just an individual problem. It is a national concern that strikes at the very heart of our unity and values. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, the next slide is our group is a reflection is on the issue of drug abuse. Firstly, this problem is complex and systemic. It is not just about personal failure, but is linked to poverty, mental health, and organized crime. It affects individuals, families, communities, and even national security. Secondly, the reality is clear from case study. Fame and influence cannot protect someone from the consequence of drug. Young people in particular are vulnerable to peer pressure and the temptation of easy money, which can destroy their future. On a wider scale, Malaysia is also a transit point in the global drug trade, making it an international challenge. Finally, solving this crisis requires a compassionate, multi-pronged approach. Enforcement alone is not enough. We need prevention, education, mental health support, and rehabilitation. Most importantly, upholding the value of the Rukun Negara, morality, integrity, and loyalty will help a build stronger and more resilient society. Through this project, our group learned a lot together. First, in terms of collaboration, we managed to coordinate and act personally by using everyone's strengths from research to design. Clear communication and trust help meet deadlines, and regular meetings allow us to solve problems effectively. Second, we developed critical skill. We went beyond memorizing facts by analyzing ethical dilemma like utilitarianism versus deontology, and by connecting our discussion to social values such as the Rukun Negara. This pushed us to propose solutions that balance enforcement, prevention, and compassion. Lastly, on a personal level, studying real case study made the issue more emotional and human. It reminds us that teamwork is not just a dividing task, but truly supporting each other to create something meaningful while handling sensitive topics with care and responsibility.
Hello everyone, my name is Nur Fatihah Hane binti Ahmad Kamal. Today, I'm going to share about the solution for drug abuse. Now, we often hear about punishment, arrest, and prison. But what if we look at the drug abuse as just not a crime, but as a health problem that needs care? So, the first solution for drug abuse is decriminalization. So, instead of locking up drug users who use small amounts of drugs, we should shift the focus to treat them as a health issue. Instead, propose rehabilitation, not jail. This can reduce prison overcrowding and allows for better reintegration into society. Second, harm reduction. With practical and compassionate care, expanding programs like methadone maintenance therapy (MMT) can help opioid users manage withdrawals and cravings. They also can manage withdrawals, reduce cravings, and allows individuals to maintain their jobs and family life. Public health gains significantly lowers the spread of diseases such as HIV and hepatitis C, and cost-effective pathway to long-term recovery. Third, voluntary rehabilitation and aftercare. We also need more rehab centers that are welcoming and accessible. A good center doesn't just detox the body, but it also offers counseling, job training, and family support. Supportive programs can prove more effective solution and less likely to relapse compared to those who are forced. Next, empower the youth through early education. Prevention is always better than cure. Schools, NGOs, parents, and communities leaders can team up to give young people mental health awareness and life skills. With teaching kids how to handle peer pressure and emotion, this can protect them by creating a safer place for them. After that, shift public perception from stigma to support. Addiction is not a simply moral weakness. It is a health condition that we should support. We need to fight the stigma by launching more public awareness campaigns featuring recovery stories to foster more public empathy and integrate mental health services into treatments to address the root cause like trauma and depression, creating a safer path to recovery. So, in summary, reducing harm, support rehab, prevent early and fight stigma. If we do this all together, we don't just fight drug abuse, we can also rebuild lives, families, and communities. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion is as we reflect on the issue of drug abuse, we must recognize that it is more than just a personal problem. It is a devastating crisis that damages individuals, breaks families apart, and places a heavy burden on our society. The roots of this crisis are deep and complex, shaped by economic pressure, lack of awareness, and the powerful pull of peer influence. This means that punishment alone cannot be the answer. Instead, we need a balanced approach. One, the focus on prevention, provide access to treatment, and embrace harm reduction strategies to give victims a chance to rebuild their life. But solution cannot stand on the shoulder of one group alone. A united effort is essential. Government must provide strong policies and resources. Schools must educate the young, communities must offer support, and families must guide with care and love. Together, we can build a healthier, more resilient, and drug-free society. Let us remember that it's not just about fighting against drugs. It is about fighting for people, for family, and for future where hope is stronger than addiction. Thank you.
Finally, our appendix highlights three key points. First, the graph show the persistent trend of drug abuse in Malaysia from 2019 to 2023, confirming this is a long-term challenge. Next, the diagram summarizes the severe effect on physical and mental health, from heart disease to psychosis. And finally, the photo of the PDRM school visit show the crucial role of community engagement and early education in prevention. So that's all. Thank you.